Right, so we're just going to learn how to clean and polish some shoes. So the first thing that I noticed with these shoes is that the laces are actually not done up correctly for dress shoes. They should be around the way. So I will take those out and we'll put them back in. These actually also need some new laces. So if you put some new laces in, that will give them a real lease of life. It'll make them look like new shoes. So we're going to remove those right now. Those will go in the bin and we'll get some nice new ones. If I was giving these shoes a thorough polish, I would still remove them. If this was just a daily polish, then I wouldn't. So it depends on the circumstances. So first thing I do, these are rubber soled shoes. So first thing I need to do is clean the soles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some of my universal cleaning stuff that I use for everything, which is isopropyl alcohol, kills all the bacteria and breaks down any deposits, water and washing up liquid, which is a great degreasant. So quite simply, I'm just going to clean the sole with this. This won't damage the soles in any way. I wouldn't use this for leather soles unless they were especially dirty. It wouldn't damage the leather, but it just shouldn't be necessary for leather soles. Here, where the stitching is, it's got the old Dr. Martin style stitching around the top. So we just look at all that dirt that comes off with that there. Let's just get that all nice and clean, because otherwise you don't want to polish your rubber soles, so you're going to end up with a nasty looking bit in between your beautifully polished shoe and the floor. So make sure that sole's nice and clean. Here's the shoes now. They're perfectly clean, they're just not polished. Now what we're going to do is, this is the simplest way of polishing shoes. I've also done another video which you'll be able to, I'll put a link up, on the fire shine technique. So that's when you're wanting a sort of military level polish to your shoes. But we're just going to what I would think of as a daily normal amount of polish. So if there were any hard bits of mud or anything on the bottom of the soles, I would use a brush like this to remove them. So this is a punch one, but there's lots of different makes. So I'd use those to get down in between all of the treads on the sole, and there's also a side bit if you need to get in there and clean them out. All you want is it to be spotlessly clean. You get two brushes, soft brush for polishing and a hard brush for applying the polish. You can also apply a polish with a cloth. I'm using Kiwi Parade Gloss, which I would say is the best that I've ever used. Unfortunately, Kiwi are actually stopping selling this in the UK now, which is a bit awkward, so it means you'll have to buy it online. When we're applying the polish to the shoe, we don't want to put really thick layers of polish. We want to build up thin layers. If you put a really, really thick layer, what you'll find is you can actually have bits of polish flake off, and you really don't want that. So our main aim is to protect the leather, to protect the shoe. You know, that's even more important than the aesthetics of making it look shiny and pretty. Because at the end of the day, shoe polish was invented to protect shoes, not to make it look pretty. So you can see the broguing there. See where I'm putting it on with the cloth, the polish doesn't get down inside the broguing. So what I'll do is I will use this brush and use that to work the polish down inside the broguing. If you don't do that, then you've got an area of your shoe that is not protected from the elements. And we don't want that now, do we? Just love the smell of shoe polish. I probably should say some health and safety thing, that you probably should be in a well ventilated area. I'm in a castle, by definition they're well ventilated because none of the windows fit. Don't smoke while you're doing this because it is flammable. Smoking's bad for you anyway, so there you go. And you probably should wear gloves, but I'm not. So make sure you bring up this nice thin layer of polish on every bit of the shoe. You'll notice I've put newspaper down to protect the table. I've also protected myself with my sleeves and my apron. Both available on the online shop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my second layer of polish on. Now this layer can be very slightly thicker, and we're going to concentrate on the toe cap. Still not really thick. We don't want to end up with this polish flaking off. And we also don't want to lose the definition of the broguing, so we don't want to fill in any of the holes. That would be much too thick. So we just get a little bit of water, just a tiny bit, and just put that on. And what that does is just lubricates the polish a bit, so you can just work it in a bit easier. Not much, just a tiny drip. If it's a really cold day, or if you're doing this in somewhere really cold, like an outhouse or boot room, you're probably going to need to warm this polish up, because it's nice and warm in here, so it's nice and soft. But if you were doing this somewhere cold, that would be like a really hard, like a bar of soap. So you just need to warm it up a little bit. Do not warm it up in the microwave. It's a metal pot and it's highly flammable. And if you've ever seen that bit on Under Siege where it blows up the kitchen, that's what you'll do. Work it into the leather so it conditions the leather, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that these shoes last for years to come. Then we're going to get our soft brush, and just very gently and lightly at first, we're just going to start seeing how that polish comes up. You don't need to push hard. Pushing hard won't help you. It's all about the action of the brush moving backwards and forwards. Same on the other side. Make sure you don't forget the back. Everyone always forgets the back. Even after a fairly minimal amount of polishing, you're really starting to get a nice shine up on these shoes. Now, if you're polishing these shoes every couple of days, you will see that you only need to really apply a tiny amount of polish, and just doing this would finish it up. But I'd say it's been a little while since these shoes have had polish, so this first layer of polish will almost certainly soak up into the leather. So after I've polished, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the same thing again. I think maybe one more layer, I think we'll be done with that. So hopefully we'll just leave that for a little bit. Shake my apron into the bin. Okay, so here we have our basic fast shoe shine. This is not a full mirror shine, which takes you literally hours and hours and hours. This is something you could do before you go off to work, or before your principal goes off to work on a daily basis. And as I was saying, the more often you do this, the easier and quicker it will get, because you build up that brilliant layer of polish. If you're looking for a mirror shine, then please check out the video on polishing using the fire shine technique. So I don't know how well you'll see it in this light, but here's our before and after. Okay, right, well, thanks very much, good luck.